Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What an exciting night and what a great crowd, and we are so privileged and honored that you've chosen to join us here tonight. So we want to welcome you to this, our 20th annual Irving Police Awards Banquet. And it's special because you're here, and so thank you guys very much. Please stand for the presentation of colors by the Irving Police Honor Guard and the national anthem being presented and performed by Mr. Alan Connor. Then please remain standing for the invocation delivered by Irving Police Chaplain Bob Harper.
Let's pray. Before we do, I want to thank the Irving Police Department for allowing us to still go to God in prayer at public forums like this. Thank you, Irving Police Department. Father God, tonight we're here to celebrate the achievements of individuals, but also as a department. So I just ask now that you anoint this place, and everything that is said and done tonight would be pleasing to you. And Father, remind us of the police psalm that says that you are our rock. You are the one that prepares our fingers for battle and our hands for war. So God, tonight as we celebrate the individuals as they are acknowledged, we just ask that you would remind them of what made this possible is that you, God Almighty, are the one behind all of this. Thank you for all of the preparations and for everything that has taken place tonight. When it's all said and done, I would just pray as we leave this place that we could reflect on the fun that we had and how meaningful it was. And Father, thank you that you allow us to be a part of this Irving law enforcement family. Thank you for the visitors here tonight. Thank you, God, for blessing us as you do always. In Jesus' name, amen.
That's your Irving Police Honor Guard. Let's give them a round of applause. Please be seated. So, this is a great crowd, and on behalf of the men and women of the Irving Police Department, I just want to tell each and every one of you that we are honored that you're here. We're so thankful that you've come with us tonight to help us celebrate and honor the accomplishments of our officers and employees. So your presence here tonight will help make that a meaningful occasion for us. Thank you guys very much. But we are here tonight to honor our employees, to honor our officers, our civilian employees of the police department. And we're going to do a lot of that tonight. But let's start that off right now, because there's a lot of police employees mixed among you at the tables. We want to recognize them and give you a chance to recognize them. So if you're an employee for the Irving Police Department in any capacity, please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. There will be a lot of more opportunities tonight to recognize our employees. We have several members that I want to recognize that are here from our community tonight and recognize their attendance. I want to start by recognizing my good friend, Mr. Tony Price, who's here representing the Irving NAACP chapter. Irving Carrollton, we don't really recognize Carrollton part of it, but the Irving NAACP, thanks for being here tonight. We also have Mr. Paresh Patel here tonight from BAPS Charities. Thanks for being here. We're honored to have a great partnership with our school district, and we have a number of folks here representing the school district. And let me go through them, and we'll applaud all at once. But here representing us tonight from the school district, we have our superintendent, Dr. Jose Parra, and his wife, Janelle, the board president, Mr. Randy Randall, the board secretary, Larry Stipes, the board trustee, Randy Necessary, board trustee, Nell Ann Hunt, board trustee, Lee Mosty, and board trustee, Danish Mali. So thank you guys for being here tonight. Without the unwavering support that we get from our city council and from our mayor, it would be impossible for us to do our jobs, for any of us within the city to do our jobs, but certainly within the role that we play here with the police department. So we truly appreciate them, and I want to recognize the members of our council who are here tonight. Of course, we have our Mayor Beth Van Dyne, who's representing here tonight. We have our Mayor Pro Tem, Dennis Webb, and his wife, Lydia. Our Deputy Pro Tem, Brad Lamorges. Councilman John Danish and his wife, Deborah. Councilman Phil Riddle and his wife, Pat. Councilman Oscar Ward and his wife, Kay. And we also have our city manager, Chris Hillman, representing here today, so thank you for him being here. And a deputy city manager, Mr. Michael Morrison, as well. Like I was saying, we get so much support from our council, and our mayor is always there 100% behind us. And so I'd like for her to come up and just say a few words now. Welcome our mayor to the stage.
Well, I think it's really great, by the way, that the school board is here. It's wonderful that we have such a great relationship, I think, between the school board and the city. A lot of cities don't have that, and sometimes we take it for granted. And I think it's wonderful how often we cross each other's paths in the work that we do together. So thank you guys for being here. I also want to thank all of the people who helped put this on tonight. I look around the room, and again, we go to so many events, and I think we really owe a debt of gratitude for everybody who has thought about this, put together the lists. I mean, just doing the auction items alone takes so much time. So can we just get a round of applause for everybody who helped put this together tonight? I stand here and I think about what this event and everything that the city was going through at this time last year. It was a little crazy, wasn't it? Just a little bit. And then I'm thinking, yeah, okay, phew, we've gone through the storm, we're coming out, we're stronger, we're holding it together as a community. And then you have reminders, like what happened in Fort Worth a few weeks ago, right, with Officer Pierce. And it's a reminder that even when times are good, even when you're not necessarily thinking that there is that kind of a threat out there, something like that can happen to any one of you in this room. We might not always show our appreciation in the ways that might be strongest to you, but I want you to know that you have a council, you have a city that supports you. And instead of constantly worrying about the threats or constantly worrying about what might happen, I always tend to look at our police department just as individuals. You know, the smile that Nathan Guard gives me as I'm leaving looking absolutely horrible from carpool in the morning. And he's out there in 30-degree weather and it's raining and he's smiling and waving traffic through. I think about Jill Smith and the strength that she puts into these women's and girls who you never know what kind of home life that they're coming from. But from the Rape Aggression Defense Course, she's there. And she's providing that kind of hope and that kind of strength where it's most needed. I think about John Mitchell and all of the work that he does in the training center. And John, I gotta tell you now, he saw me back in 2004 shoot. My shot has not gotten any better, but now I own a gun. So I'm gonna come look at you, I'm gonna ask for your help, and trust me, you want it. I look at Officer Denny and events that he has accompanied me to in the last year. And you know, he's quite an imposing figure when he wants to be. Thank you for that, by the way. It makes me feel a lot better when we go into some scary situations that I've got you right there. Those are the types of things that I think about when I think about our police department. It's that strong family, it's the smiles, it's the professionalism, it's looking around and knowing that you really have our back. We have a great community. And I will make a pledge to you, I will promise to you that as long as you do what you think is right for our city, as long as you are there to protect our citizens, our residents, our visitors, and as long as you support our city, I promise I will have your back. Thank you for all that you do. And by the way, it is the very least that a mayor can do for a department that has done so much for Irving. God bless and take care.
Thank you very much, Mayor. You know, the riskiest part of my job here tonight was what I just went through, which was recognizing all the dignitaries in the room and not skipping over something that was in here, which I did do. So please bail me out by just showing your appreciation for Councilman David Palmer. Thank you so much for being here. And his wife, Allison, thank you for being here. Sorry about that. Thank you, Mayor. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize some other folks who have done a great job with putting this all together, and in particular one who's worked tirelessly over the last few weeks and months and even over the last year, and that's my office supervisor, Katie Roberts, who's sitting right back over here somewhere. And I wanted to make sure, since I'd already forgotten one thing, she definitely didn't put that in the script, and I wanted to recognize her, and I appreciate all the good work that she's done. So as we get back to the program, I want to let you know that the proceeds from tonight's banquet go to support the Family Advocacy Center. So this is one of the best kept secrets. I talk to people all the time about our banquet, and they understand and know about the banquet and that it's an opportunity that we have to recognize police officers. But the money raised during this banquet go to support the Family Advocacy Center. That's a partnership that we have with the police department that provides an opportunity for victims of crime or maybe families that are going through some level of crisis to be able to obtain free counseling to help them get through that particular crisis. And you don't see that anywhere else. And so we just wanted you to know the things that you've bid on tonight, the auction that we'll have in a little bit, the proceeds from this banquet go to support the Family Advocacy Center and all that they do. So I would like to personally also thank all the sponsors who purchased tables for tonight's event. We have some very important people also who've worked diligently over the last few months to make this happen. First, I want to recognize someone that everybody in here will recognize, and that is Ms. Carol Susat and her steering committee. So please give them your applause as well. Also, our police captains have the privilege and opportunity every year. They look forward to this, the chance that they have to work on in putting this banquet together, and they put in tireless work on this. So let's recognize our captains for all the work that they've done. In a way, it's a very challenging time for law enforcement. You know, I've been doing this for about 35 years. I can attest to the fact that I have the honor of working with what I consider the most trained, the best trained, the most committed police officers I've ever worked with in my entire 35-year career. And I think in general, law enforcement's at that position, yet we've never been more criticized. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But one of the questions that I get from people is that, you know, with all the scrutiny and with all of the negativity, how do you get people to do this job? Are there people who are willing to commit their careers to serving in law enforcement? And the short answer to that is absolutely yes. We have high quality people coming to work for the Irving Police Department. We have a video produced. I think it would be even better to hear it in their own words. So if we could play the video, I'd appreciate that.
23 amount.
Receive 23.
34 to 22. I'm going to be out in a couple minutes. What do you need me to do?
Irving just stood out. Irving, you know, I couldn't find really anything bad about the department. You know, just reading, you know, and talking to people who are familiar with the department or talking to those who've been here and been working for the department, you know, everybody talked about, you know, how great the department was. So, you know, as I was, you know, doing my research, I couldn't find anything, you know, that seemed to even come close. The reason I wear the badge is to protect the community, to prevent crime and victimization.
My name is Mehdi Farzam. Moved here in May with my family after being a police officer in Memphis, Tennessee. I originally became a police officer to help people, and after doing the police work for a certain amount of time, you learn that helping people isn't just, you know, helping them. Generally, it's if they're a victim, brighten their day the best you can, be an impact, potentially change somebody's life, whether it's arresting them for a crime they've committed or solving a crime for them. We left Memphis in May and came to Irving after I was hired by the Irving Police Department. To be a police officer, you have to have integrity. You have to be able to be honest. You have to be positive. It's to help people as a role model, to be there for the children that need you.
I've always wanted to be a police officer since I was a little kid. I mean, I grew up in Irving, and I always looked up to Irving police officers. I would go up when I was a little kid and talk to them and say hi, because honestly, they were just like my role models. I mean, I knew that they were out there protecting us and just fighting crime. So when I was turned 21, I just wanted to become a police officer, and I kept going to school and getting the credits that I needed to be able to apply here in Irving. And I ended up taking the test. I consider Irving home, so I wanted to work for the city that I consider home and just be here.
I really like the fact that when I come to work, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to encounter every day. Something new, something fun, something I get to help somebody, and just the ability to know that I have the chance to influence somebody in a positive way is something I really enjoy.
My name is Jonathan Daniel. I'm from Mexico. I moved to Dallas when I was 4 years old. When I was in sixth grade, we had a police officer come to our class and speak to us about character ed. And that was the first time I had seen a police officer up close in person. And when he walked in, just seeing him, his full-on uniform, he had his duty belt, all his gear. He looked real sharp. The way he spoke to us was pretty, to me, was pretty cool. As a little kid, I was amazed by it. And from then I thought, being a police officer, I think would be something I would want to do. Making a difference in people's lives, that small interaction you have with them, it's something they'll probably remember. My experience in sixth grade, the officer was in there for an hour, and up until this day, I still remember it. So having that impact on people, that positive impact on people is something that I want to do. I want to be that officer.
I always have helped people. I'm the guy that carry extra gloves or sweaters, all sweaters in the car, and just give to homeless people in the streets. Like, hey, man, we may need this or something. Prior to becoming an officer, now, it's my job to help people and protect them the best I can. To help and protect and make a difference. I mean, there's not a lot of Spanish-speaking officers. I speak Spanish. I can tell by my accent. So, get along with the Hispanic community out there. With everybody pretty much, but just to make a difference.
Heard a lot of good things about it from Irving officers and other police officers from other agencies, which usually you don't hear too often. Mostly it's their agencies and why they're that good, not why another agency is good. So I knew Irving was probably a little, there's something special about it. I ended up falling in love with it, doing ride-outs. So I started majoring in criminal justice, and that's when I knew, when I was about 18, 19, I wanted to be a police officer. I've heard just amazing things about it, especially in the academy. All the instructors would come in and talk about how Irving is this, Irving is that. So I realized I was really lucky and fortunate when I was going through to get hired by them first before anybody else.
My story kind of begins about a little over 6 years ago. I was in the military. I was a special ops, special forces guy, Green Beret, and I really liked the team atmosphere of it, where, we were working with a team of 12 guys, and you get that camaraderie and just that sense of team and membership, which I now see in the police department, whether you're in patrol or a specialized unit. I like that kind of work atmosphere. Irving has a great size, but yet you're not just one of a huge number, but you have opportunities for career advancement. Like I was looking at, Irving's got their tactical team and their sniper team and their bomb squad, which is exactly what I did in the military as special operations. But then you have like canine, traffic, investigations, narcotics, gang units, and et cetera. And I really feel that Irving has a lot to offer me, but then I have a lot to offer Irving Police Department with my experience. So with that, we're both, my wife and I are both thrilled to be in this community and this department.
I wear the badge. I want to be an inspiration and a mentor to the youth in the community. No matter a kid's background, I believe with a little bit of mentorship and guidance that anybody can really make it in the world. And I want to see the kids of Irving really succeed, not only give back to their community, but give in their profession worldwide. My first trip was to Irving in March, and I did a ride out, and the first thing that stuck out to me was the family atmosphere within the department. Everyone did their job and their assignment to 110%, and the community interaction was great. Customer service that the officers provided, I noticed, really built the trust within the community, and it was shown. I mean, we were flagged down thinking a lot of times we were going to take the next call, but in reality, people just saying thanks, stay safe. The blue thin line markers all around the community, and we support Irving PD. It just seemed like home, and it felt like a good fit for me.
What brought me to Irving was the more of the reputation and the satisfaction of the other officers. I went to a DRE class with Sergeant Vincent and Steve Burris, and they both talked very highly of the DWI unit and the Irving Police Department in general. And a couple of years, or say a couple of months after that, I got to teach an SFST class with Sergeant Hover, and again had nothing but good things to say about the Irving Police Department, and came and did a ride out with Officer Brabham, and he had nothing but good things to say about it. I liked the way things went that night and decided to go ahead and put my application in and hope for the best. And luckily for me, I got on, and I've had a great experience ever since then.
We have a 911. Armed robbery in progress. See surplus store, corner People's Drive, North 24th Street.
You know, the funny thing about it is no one in that video is old enough to remember that music that they were playing at the last. But ladies and gentlemen, that's your future for the Irving Police Department. All of the officers that you saw there are in some various stages of training, and I think our future's in good hands. Let's give them a round of applause. So now, as we move into the awards portion of the ceremony, I want to call up my three assistant chiefs. We're going to do something a little different this year. If you've been to this in years past, we've had someone who provided the facilitation of this. We're going to use the assistant chiefs this year to do it because they're going to bring a personal sort of touch to this. The guys coming up here, Assistant Chief Jeff Spivey, Bruce Jolly, and Brian Redburn, represent 82 years of experience. It gives a whole new meaning to the word senior staff, which is what we recognize them as. But they are committed to this police department. They're committed to the employees. And so we thought it would be really good to have them be the ones who present the awards and talk about it. So each of them are going to present a couple of awards. I'd also like to call City Manager Chris Hillman up to the stage to assist me in presenting the awards to the award recipients. So I think we first have Assistant Chief Redburn for the first awards.
Good evening. My name is Brian Redburn. I'm the Field Operations Bureau Assistant Chief, and it's my honor and privilege tonight to present the Chief's Unit Award and the award for the Civilian Employee of the Year. The Chief's Unit Award is conferred on a group of 2 or more employees with a common purpose and whose performance was clearly exceptional. 3 units were nominated this year: the Communications Section Supervisors, the Police Training Officers, and the South B Days Patrol Shift. Please stand to be recognized if your section was just announced. The winners of the 2015 Chiefs Unit Award are the 20 police officers and supervisors of the South Patrol B-Day Shift. Last year, this group of dedicated employees exemplified productive cooperation and professionalism, and they did so in a very challenging social environment. Like many other units in the police department, South B Days generates a significant amount of daily work product through arrests, traffic enforcement, and field interviews. But this group of officers and supervisors distinguish themselves in 3 ways: their teamwork in handling major incidents, their thoroughness in doing follow-up investigations whenever possible, and their commitment to community outreach. Because the South B Days Shift is a cohesive group, they are able to effectively handle complex crime scenes even when their resources are stretched thin. Last year, this shift responded to 2 major crime scenes where the suspects had fled the area. Because of the officers' teamwork and knowledge about the neighborhoods they patrol, both scenes were quickly brought under control, critical evidence was preserved, and the suspects were identified and arrested the same day. Additionally, the South B Days supervisors have successfully promoted a culture of doing quality field investigations, giving the officers discretion to keep some reports open for further follow-up. As a result, the patrol officers on this shift view themselves as first-line investigators, doing everything possible to develop leads and secure evidence before referring the case to our detectives. Finally, this shift has embraced community outreach. Recently, officers from South B Days participated in events such as the Martin Luther King Jr. Day Rally, a crime presentation to the members of a Sikh temple, as well as attending smaller gatherings such as Crime Watch meetings and Coffee with a Cop events. Most importantly, these officers recognize the importance of developing relationships through positive individual contacts. Many of the shift officers have taken the initiative to get to know the homeless people in their beats, emphasizing relationship building and taking care to humanize the encounters between officers and this special needs group. Because of these relationships that they've fostered, they've often led to the discovery of witnesses or intelligence information that would not have been available otherwise. Please join me in congratulating the 2015 recipients of the Chiefs Unit Award, South Patrol B Days. Lieutenant LaCroix, if you could come forward, please, and accept this award on behalf of your platoon. For the remaining 4 categories, each winner will receive a Crystal Award and a one-night stay at one of the many prominent hotels in Irving. Next, we have the award for the Civilian Employee of the Year. There are over 200 civilian employees in the Irving Police Department who support the work of police officers, and they serve as an integral part of the police department's team. In 2015, 4 employees were nominated for the honor of Civilian Employee of the Year. The 4 nominees are Kara Tanaka, North Patrol Secretary, Gwen Green, Budget Specialist, Caitlin Snell, Administrative Secretary, and Rory Nibbs, South Patrol Secretary. Ladies, please stand and be recognized. The Civilian of the Year joined the Irving Police Department in 2010 as a dispatcher. Last year, she was tasked with learning a new job as she transferred from the Communications Division to replace the South Patrol Division Secretary position. In addition to performing her administrative duties in an efficient manner, Rory has brought a great deal of professionalism to this position. Rory has reorganized the filing system and the office supply closet to provide a sense of functionality not seen for a long time. She is always courteous, helpful, and projects a positive image of the city of Irving that is recognized by officers and citizens alike. It is apparent that she cares about her new position and strives to improve the office efficiency whenever possible. Please give a big round of applause as we welcome Rory Nibbs, your 2015 Civilian of the Year.
Next, we will present the award for Supervisor of the Year. A supervisor's ability to challenge their employees, lead by example, and build team spirit is essential to any organization. We have over 60 sworn supervisory positions in the police department, and this year's winner has distinguished himself as a true leader through his innovation and desire to challenge the status quo. The first line supervisor plays a vital role in the success and health of any organization. This is especially true in an organization whose employees have the authority to take someone's liberty, make split-second life and death decisions, and are expected to be infallible in all of their dealings. The first-line supervisor is required to be a mentor, teacher, coach, disciplinarian, mediator, confidant, and friend. The three nominees are Sergeant James Beyer, Lieutenant Kevin Hamra, and Lieutenant Danny Webb. Please stand to be recognized. Thank you. Our award winner noticed that as an organization, we were not doing all we could to ensure the success of those promoting into a supervisory role. Thus was born the ISTEP program. ISTEP, short for Irving Sergeant Training and Educational Program, was the culmination of months of research and development. Without being asked or directed to take on such a project, our award winner set about on his own to create a formal training curriculum that would better prepare newly promoted sergeants for their roles and responsibilities. ISTEP utilizes identified leaders in the organization to provide mentoring in the areas of command presence, technical skills, rational skills, human skills, and high-risk, low-frequency events. Each of these subjects come with multiple problem-based learning exercises that have been previously encountered by a sergeant in our organization. Upon successful completion of the prescribed exercises, the newly promoted sergeant is tasked with giving a presentation to the command staff. The presentation is designed to encourage the new sergeant to share their background, thoughts, and experiences, as well as demonstrate their presentation skills in an environment that can prove to be very intimidating. This helps build their confidence and allows command staff members an opportunity to provide encouragement and congratulations for completing such a rigorous study. ISTEP was introduced in March of 2015, and to date we have had 4 sergeants successfully complete the program. Not one to ever be satisfied and a proponent of continual improvement, our award winner has not stopped working to make iStep better. He has identified a need to incorporate an online evaluation process and been instrumental in redesigning the timeline of the course. This will allow our organization to incorporate the state-mandated supervisor training into the curriculum, allowing us to streamline the time and cost associated with fully training a new sergeant. iStep has given our organization the capability to provide newly promoted sergeants the skill and confidence to perform their job requirements in a highly efficient and professional manner. That efficiency and professionalism at the first line supervisor level will allow our department to improve in our abilities to serve the community while insulating the organization from the kinds of trials and tribulations that come from a lack of leadership and poor decision making. Lastly, we believe that the iStep has the potential to become a model for police agencies across the state to train and prepare first-line supervisors for their new roles and responsibilities. Please join me in congratulating your 2015 Supervisor of the Year, Sergeant James Byer. Our next award is for New Officer of the Year. Each year, new officers joining our organization are introduced to the challenge of learning to become Irving police officers. These officers face a rigorous routine of training, volumes of materials to read and memorize, and the opportunity to put their newly found knowledge into action under the watchful eye of our field training staff. The 2015 New Officer of the Year joined the department in April of 2014. After 9.5 years of serving in the United States Army, which included 2 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan, he brings a high level of professionalism and respect to the position. He possesses a patient and calm demeanor, which show in his discernment and approach to handling difficult situations, qualities traditionally observed in more seasoned officers. He has become knowledgeable of not only the expansive geography of North Irving, but of known offenders, high crime areas, and trends for each beat. His enthusiastic work ethic and productivity places him near the top in activity on his shift, but the number of citations he issues or arrests he makes is not what separates our award winner from his peers. His selection for this award is much deeper than that. He is self-motivated, independent, and reliable, yet he is the epitome of a team player. Since it's important to establish rapport with members of your shift, he has cultivated positive relationships within the continuously fluctuating and varying personality groups with which he works and interacts. This is no easy task when interacting with a different group every night of the work week. The officers on his shift will attest that his willingness to assist others does not waver, even when the tasks prove arduous or unpleasant. His humility, confidence, satisfaction, pride in his role as an Irving police officer are openly apparent to those around him. Our New Officer of the Year award winner exudes these qualities one would hope all Irving police officers possess. Please join me in recognizing the 2015 New Officer of the Year, Officer Brian Rush.
The most prestigious award given at this banquet is that of Officer of the Year. Selected by his or her peers, this officer is recognized for exceptional acts of bravery, commitment to his or her assignment, or giving their personal time in community service. These officers don't begin the year planning for such recognition, but commit to doing the best job ever, year after year, to ensure the safety and well-being of the city of Irving. For 2015, the 4 officers nominated for this honor are Officer Craig Holman, Officer John Hawk, Officer John Thomas, and Officer Rick Bentley. Will you gentlemen please stand and be recognized? The 2015 of the Officer of the Year was hired by the Irving Police Department in July of 2008. He has been a team player since he came to the gang unit in 2013 and has changed the way most investigations are conducted. Prior to his arrival, social media was being used to monitor known offenders on a minimal basis. Investigator Hawk created alias accounts and began monitoring known offenders and wanted persons. His use of social media and overall creativity in his approach to investigations has led to numerous successes for the gang unit. He is highly outgoing, has never refused to assist anyone with anything, no matter the degree of difficulty, and he is solicited by other officers on almost a daily basis to assist with their investigations. Investigator Hawk has become the go-to guy for investigators in the Criminal Investigations Division and has been sought out by federal agents from the FBI and the U.S. Marshal Service to assist with investigations of all kinds. Investigator Hawk has also personally volunteered to teach social media and gang awareness. He has designed presentations for both of these topics and has successfully taught numerous classes to law enforcement and civilian groups. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2015 Officer of the Year, Officer John Hawk.
So thank you guys. I know that if you've been to this before, you probably remember that we always have a Brass Pig Award. The qualifications for the Brass Pig Award are basically the exact opposite of everything that you just heard. And so not to sully the memory of our Brass Pig Award and nominate a subpar performance, we're foregoing it this year since we didn't have anybody that rose to that level of the honor of the Brass Pig. We had some come very close, but they were also too close to policy violations to be talking about up here. So we'll see next year. I have confidence that we'll have it next year. I was reminded, and I haven't had a chance to get by to see him, I want to recognize Chief Canaday, the former chief here in Irving. Appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that really brings to a close what we came here to do tonight. And I want to really thank you for your participation in this event. There's a bit of a false narrative that's been out there over the last several years or couple of years about law enforcement and this image created of negativity and officers who aren't doing the things that are best for their community. And there's reasons for that. There's a lot of things going on in the media and everything, and negative things in the media tend to get the airplay. But I have the honor of working with some of the best men and women that I've ever seen. And we're not perfect. You know, we hire from the human race, and we're definitely not perfect. But these folks that you've came to honor tonight are committed to providing the safest and most secure Irving that they possibly can. And it is good for us to be able to show our support. And so what you've been able to do tonight is help give that message in a way that they get it loud and clear. The men and women of this department recognize that Irving supports what they do, and that gives them the energy, that gives them the confidence, that gives them the reason to continue to provide that kind of service every single day. So I look forward to a very good year. I look forward to seeing you here next year. Thank you guys so much for being here. Good night and God bless.